Good evening, welcome to Leicester Fan TV. This is your weekly Fanzone show. My name's Phil. Welcome to the show. Get your views in, get your comments in. Loads and loads of things to talk about. Don't forget, if you put your comments in the chats, whether you're watching on Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, YouTube, wherever you're watching, we can get them on screen. We want to talk about what you want to talk about. Obviously, we've just beaten the game at the weekend, Crystal Palace, and we've got Arsenal tomorrow. So what do you want to talk about? I want to ask you, is Jamie Vardy the greatest ever Leicester City football player? What do you think to that? Yes, good evening. Yes, that's one of the things I want to ask you guys. Is Jamie Vardy the greatest ever Leicester City player? Not the most skillful, the greatest ever Leicester City player. Let's get your comments in. Mirko is watching out in Holland. Hi, Mirko. How are you? Let me know what you think on tomorrow night's game against Arsenal. Hayden, good evening to you. Chris from Leicester Till I Die. Nice to talk, he says, after a win. It certainly is. Rob is watching out in Florida. Which bit of Florida are you in, Rob? Hope you're safe and well out there. Let us know how it's going out there. Are you watching the game tomorrow night, Rob? Stephen says, wasn't it not? It wasn't. Oh, Stephen, boy, was it nice for a change not to talk about a bore draw or anything. Hayden says, what would our lineup be for tomorrow? That's a great question, Hayden. Let me know who you think, Hayden, should be in it tomorrow. Imtiaz is watching. Good evening to you. Simon saying Vardy's on fire. Is Vardy the greatest ever Leicester City player, Simon? That's what I want to know. Don't forget, if you're watching in the Facebook group, we have a lot of people watching there. Doesn't show your name unless you click on a certain link for StreamYard. But whoever this is says, just want to say well done to Jamie. Who won out of those predictions was the fans. The fans got more than us content team, proving that you fans know more than us. And the players knew nothing. They came last. Let's keep getting those comments in. Ryan is saying, Muzzy, is it? I assume you mean Ryan is the greatest ever Leicester City player. I don't agree with you. I think it's Jamie Vardy. Mick Bell, how are you, Mick? How are you doing? Have you been out for a beer yet, Mick? Good to get a win. Wesley's saying, back three again, tactics-wise for tomorrow. Would you agree with what Wesley's saying? Joe's watching Venice, California, cheering the Foxes on. How are you? Oh, it's you, Joe. It's my doppelganger. How are you, mate? How the game changed once Chilwell came off. Fuchs and Albrighton all day long for me. Do you agree with Joe? Would you have... I don't think Chilwell's going to play tomorrow. I'm hearing he is out. I don't know if that's been officially confirmed, but the rumours are that he is definitely not going to be in there. And Madders probably will only make the bench. I wouldn't put Madders back in, to be fair, after Sunday. I'd keep with the same sort of team. Chris Gutteridge says, Vardy is very good, yes, but is he really the best? Well, that's the question, Chris. I think he is. Do you? I'm thinking more time and faithfulness to the club, like Sir Steve Walsh. Well, I've got to be honest, Jamie Vardy's going to be coming up for 10 years. Jamie Vardy could have left Leicester to go to one of the biggest clubs in Europe, which is Arsenal. And he didn't. He stayed at Leicester. Gary Lineker left us. Steve Walsh didn't leave us because he just stuck around at Leicester most of the time. Well, I know he went off to play. Memory's gone where Walsh he went afterwards. But Jamie Vardy's achieved more and more. Mirko saying he would get Fuchs in for Chilwell tomorrow. Well, Chilwell's not going to play, so would you put Fuchs in there? That's interesting. Rob White saying, evening, lad. How are you? I'm good. How are you? Gray's watching, saying, it was me said about the Fans v content team, but then you crashed, missed your response. Gray, you fans beat us. That's what I was saying. You fans beat the content team and we beat the players. So fans rule over everybody, which is just what we knew anyway. Mick saying he's not been out for a beer yet. Might go this weekend. Well, Mick, see you out there for a pint. Listen, keep getting your comments in. Keep getting your views in. Here is Tom. Hi, Tom. How are you?
Good evening. Evening, everyone. Yeah, good. Thanks, mate. What a difference a win makes. You know what I mean? Bit of a smile on your face. And now we look forward to Arsenal.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Chris, one of the things we're talking about, I know I've got a bit off topic because we've so many games to talk about, Tom. This is probably a real big debate for the close season, but I just think Jamie Vardy, it's come to my mind. We've run a poll today on Twitter and Facebook. I just think Jamie Vardy is now officially, in my books, the greatest ever Leicester City player. Discuss.
I mean, someone mentioned Steve Walsh. Walsh is a club legend. We all can't do that. Same with Matt Elliott. These people have stayed with the club when they came and basically retired at the club. Fair play to them. But for me, Jamie Vardy, £1 million for Fleetwood. Didn't have the greatest first season. Could have gone like he wanted to and leave then, and didn't think he was up to the championship. Nigel made him he said, "We have faith in you." The rest is history. Won the championship, won the Premiership, quarter final of the Champions League, semi-final of a World Cup, all wearing the Leicester City shirt. He could have gone to Arsenal, but he didn't fancy that. At the end of the day, the boys stayed around, and coming up to 10 years service at the football club, 100 goals, Premiership goals. He could have gone. He had every right to go and join Arsenal. And everyone can say, Arsenal have been great over the years, but they're still a massive club in Europe. And to stay at Leicester and stick it out and to hit 20 goals again this season when they were said, he's a one-season wonder after the Premiership winning. Fair play to him for me. Definitely number one for players. There's a few who could have been up there. Walshy, Elliott. I say Keith Weller was up in the top 5 for me. He's an absolute legend of this football club. But some fans might not have never heard of the younger generation, but Keith Weller was a hell of a player for this team back in the day. But yeah, Vardy definitely for me, number one player.
Yeah, I mean, let's get some fans' views on this before we move on to Arsenal tomorrow. Keith is saying greatest ever must be either one of the Arthurs, Rowley or Chandler. Keith, I hear what you're saying. Obviously, that's way before my time. I don't think, Keith, you're old enough to remember that. But my thing is with that, Keith, is did they win the biggest competition in English football? No. Jamie Vardy did, and he was a massive part of it. His Golden Boot goals that season, well, he didn't actually, did he? Because Harry Kane did. But his goals that season was why he did it. And he stuck around and he's been with us for 9 years. And I think football is different now, Keith. That's my big thing. So I hear what people are saying about the Arthur Rowleys and Chandlers, and Ryan again saying Muzzy. Muzzy was great. He was a great player. He was a skillful player. But by greatness, I mean, I'm hoping what people get is what I mean by great is that they achieve fantastic things and they stick around for a long time on there. Terry says Vards has stayed loyal as we gave him the fantastic opportunity. Wow, £1 million bargain. Absolutely, Tom. So, I think it's interesting to see. Somebody's put on here Gary Lineker.
Again, but never stuck around. He wasn't loyal to Leicester. Gary's a Leicester fan, and we all love Gary for saving the football club at a time when we were literally on the edge of non-existent. Gary came in and saved the football club and will go down as a legend in his own right for everything he did for the club. But he didn't stay. He went off and bettered his career in some ways by going to Everton, was it? Then Tottenham,
yeah,
Barcelona. Fair play for him to go out and do that. I was just laughing at the comments on Elvis Hammond.
I mean, he was a great Tom Elvis Hammond, but
yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? Just the fact that Vardy has achieved all this. He has achieved that biggest honours for Leicester. We've never been that far in a European competition, and the top one at that. We've never done the Premier League and the Championship like that. And the goals and the loyalty.
The loyalty is a big one for me. Like I said, to hear his story after to say he sat down after speaking to Arsene Wenger with his missus, and it was when they left the driving back, and he just said, it's not for me. He could have easily offered a lot more money than he would have been at staying at Leicester, but he knew at Leicester that he would be the number one man, the number one striker for Leicester going forward. And fair play to him, because he didn't want to be a bit part player sitting on the bench. He wanted to play, and he knew at Leicester that he owed Leicester something for getting him that where he had got to.
Yeah, James says here the journey Vardy has been on, which is film worthy. Tom, in lockdown, I've watched quite a lot of true life sports stories because there's been no sport on, so I've watched lots of true story sports films. And Jamie Vardy's is better than most sports stories that you see in these films. The journey has been on, James says. It has to be him. 101 Premier League goals for £1 million, which £1 million bought you the star striker in 1978 when it was, what's his name, Ian Wallace for Forest. £1 million in 2011 it's nothing. It's pocket money, isn't it?
I'll just look at it. There's another one on Facebook user. I know put him out. That's a great stat there. 206 Premier League games, 101 Premiership goals. to Leicester. It's also 11 having.
Yeah, we didn't even mention that 11 on the trot, did we?
The great record there, what he smashed, where it was no one knew that would ever happen again. If you look who he beat one of the greatest strikers that I've ever seen in my lifetime, and people will laugh at that. But Van Nistelrooy was technically fantastic, and for Vardy to go and do it, it's just another level that he's achieved in his career. And we've got to remember, this is the kid who came and started Premiership football at 27 and a half years old. He didn't burst onto the scene like Michael Owen at 17, 18 and play for a few years. He's done it in 5-6 years, this record. So that's just to show you what achievement it is to reach the 100 goal. It's such a short period of time, and he's up there with some great strikers. There's not many strikers who'll say at the end of the day they're in the 100 club with Alan Shearer, Van Nistelrooy, Henry. There's some big names up there, and Vardy now sits along them as a legend of the game in the Premiership. He will do.
Mark Charles, I've put his comment up there. I'll put it up there. I think the debate will be in the close season, Tom. We'll have to find somebody who wants to argue for Steve Walsh being the greatest ever and somebody for Jamie Vardy. Because it's a great debate, but we could go on and on tonight, and we do need to move on to tomorrow night's game, Tom. I'd take a point. Yeah, I'm not being defeatist, but I would take a point.
I think, like we said before the weekend, for me, 7 points out of the 3 games would be a good set of points on the board. If you can get the 3 points at home to Palace, we've ticked that off. A point at Arsenal, and then 3 points at Bournemouth. 7 points. That keeps you on track towards the Champions League spot. 3 points tomorrow is massive. If we got 3 points tomorrow and then 3 points against Bournemouth, you're then looking at 2 wins from somewhere. It's sunny back in irons massively. Well, probably not in 2 wins. I think a win then, 4 wins would have done it before we started it. Look, it's not going to be an easy game tomorrow. We go there and change? Not really for me. I know Maddison and Chilwell are both very doubtful for the game.
Chilwell's out. I'm definitely being told that he's out.
Yeah, and I think
injured.
Maddison's a massive doubt as well. I think we'd rush Maddison back personally. I said it at the time I saw he was on the sub bench. If he's not fit to start, then he's not 100% fit to be on the bench. And it's proving costly now because it looks like we're probably losing for a couple of games. If I'm honest, what's a shame.
So, Tom, listen. After Saturday, would you, if Maddison was fit after Saturday, fit to start, I wouldn't put him in.
I think you can't change it around now. You've got to go with that winning mentality. And for me, the only change you keeps in that team is that you bring Bennett in. I don't think he plays bad. A couple of mistakes at the back, but again, he hadn't played with any of the team first game at half time. Coming on, always tricky. I thought he did a decent job at the back, really. My kind of defender, no nonsense, didn't muck around, cleared it, got his tackles in, made a couple of mistakes. I think Chilwell, Cahill should have scored a goal for them when he didn't get a challenge in. But bar that, he was a steady Eddie at the back. I'd leave the starting lineup merely the same, near enough, but bar Chilwell for.
But Tom, would you start with 3 at the back, 5 at the back tomorrow?
3 at the back.
With the wing backs.
With the wing backs for me. Go at Arsenal. Go at them. I saw against Wolves, they weren't that great. They got lucky. And for me, if you're going to go to Arsenal and think we're going to give it a go, we might as well go and have a go at them, not go and try and park the bus.
See, I always think 3 at the back is defensive and attacking, because those wing backs, as long as they fall back, you've got 5 at the back and you've got Ndidi in front of them. That's effectively, you've got 6 defensive players there. You've got a back 5. You've got the 3 at the back, the wing backs back there, and then Ndidi holding in front. That's solid. But when you want to go forward, burst forward, you are 3 at the back, so it can be very attacking on the break.
Well, the thing with playing Ndidi in front of the back 3 is he sweeps between the side it goes onto. So if the left back's out of position, he can pull into the left back slot. If he's right's out of position, he pull into the right back slot, playing that wing back formation if one's caught out. But it opens the play up more for me, that formation. We saw it at the weekend. I don't know when he changed his rumours. He started with 3 at the back and Justin was in the back 3. But for me, the second half, we looked so much more width on the pitch, what we were crying out for. We weren't crying out for an overlap. We were crying out that let the winger go wide and have the freedom to run at people. And I felt Tillemans was best game of probably all season for me at the weekend. He really was opening up a lot of avenues with his passing ability. Creates the first goal with a delicious ball from the left, in my opinion. Goalie's got to do better, but still, it's a great ball into a danger area. We just looked more threatening second half. I think first half, we were very unlucky with the chances that we did create. We didn't create enough. What we did create, Vardy, first touch, he's through on goal. just as it's the crossbar. But it was crucial we got that goal first for me. If we'd conceded first, I don't know how we would have taken it. So you could see the lift in the players once we got that goal. It was all out us to attack them.
Tom, I want to ask you. Andrew's put a comment in here, and I think it's a great comment. I think I'm looking at Nacho now and thinking, do you know what? I think it's adding balance in there. I remember back, like we all do, to the role that Okazaki used to do with Jamie Vardy. He wasn't necessarily going to score loads, Okazaki didn't. And to be fair, Nacho's, I think, got 9 now this season, isn't it? Or 9 or 10. But
10 goals now.
Does Nacho offer having somebody around there with Vardy? Because there's times when Vardy's the lone striker and he's chasing down people at the back. I almost think he's given up doing that at times because one person can't do it. When there was Okazaki doing it as well and doing these bursts, I guess the question I'm whittering on about is, would you go with Nacho and Vardy? And do you think Nacho's offering a lot more than just goals?
I think you've got to go with Nacho. I think he's done enough to start, the last couple of games for me. Vardy, I feel, gets isolated up front on his own because he isn't a player who wants to be back to goal. He wants to be running in behind. So, but when we're trying to play that one up front and he's having to do all that defensive work, one, you're taking out of his legs at his age at 33. He's going to feel it more than he would have done 3-4 years ago when he could charge around the pitch. So he has to be a bit more clever now when he's going down to challenge someone up in the back four for them. Where when you have two up there, if you looked at the weekend, it worked because Vardy could just push on that little bit more, that 4 or 5 yards higher up the pitch. When we did win it and turn over, he was already in that position to look in behind. And Nacho, do you know what? Fair play. His work rate is brilliant. He's not scared to get a tackle in. He isn't scared to foul someone. And, if I get a card, I'll take it because I'm trying to win the ball back. But he's a threat in the box. And I know when he first came, we all were very excited. He didn't really do much in his first season with a football club. But this year, for me, what a difference. The manager put his arm around him, just giving him this little bit of confidence that he can do it. He knew he weren't going to play loads this season in the Rodgers. He even admitted that. But when he has played, he's looked a threat. I mean, Everton away was just a game changer when he came on. He was picking the ball up and running up defenders who ain't got a clue where he was going. So for me, Vardy and Nacho to start, I wouldn't change it too much. I think you've got to try and keep a settled team.
Yeah, obviously there's a lot of games in in quite a few days. It's hard to keep up with them. Lots is saying, Vardy's still got his legs, need to preserve his energy. So Nacho helps out with the pressing, which is what we're talking about. Reese has put a comment in here as well. And again, I think it's an interesting one about Barnes and Gray, sort of putting them together as impact subs. Barnes, I think, what do you think to that? Barnes as a sub?
I'm not having the Barnes one for me. Barnes has got a lot more talent and ability. For me, when Barnes came back from West Brom under Pure, beginning of Rodgers, we started to see the fruits of showing him out on loan for a bit and getting some tough tackling against him because he's come back a different player for me. He's not scared to run at people. Yes, I think since the lockdown, he hasn't really clicked because before lockdown, he's probably up there with one of the best players who's playing week in, week out by having a go at people. But now I think he's just struggled a little bit since the lockdown to get that form back. Hopefully, the couple of assists at the weekend were doing some good. I mean, the second one for me, a first-time ball like that, as it's coming round the side of him to then pass it on again, that's not technically an easy thing for him to do and know where Vardy's going. So fair play for him for that. And the first goal, it's down to him, the work rate there for him to close the man down because there's not many players in the league would charge at the centre half like he did and make him force the error to win the ball for the goal. So Barnes has probably been a bit unlucky going into the lockdown. Damari Gray, again, hit and miss. On his day, we've seen what he can do at Watford away with a 60-yard pass for Chilwell to score. And you think, there we go, there's the Gray, what we all see the talent. But we don't see enough of it. And that's, for me, why I'd leave Gray as the impact stud. Barnes at the moment, once he gets back to his confidence and he pushes for a start of the week, he will.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to go back to a comment I've not put on yet. It's from Mark Charles. Arsenal are a funny team at the moment, aren't they? I watched them play. I can't remember who it was. David Luiz had a nightmare. I think it was away at Man City, one of the first games. Yeah. Mark is saying David Luiz will get sent off tomorrow. He won't be able to cope with Vardy or Nacho. I was amazed that they've offered him a new contract because he looks a mess at times. If you can get at Arsenal, their defence is shaky, Tom, isn't it?
It's an aging defence. They've got a lot of older players in the back four, if we're honest with you. So if we can get at them early, let's shake them up a little bit. That's massive. A good start tomorrow is massive. don't want to let Arsenal settle and set a tempo of passing around and us chasing the ball, because that's what they want. As for me, Vardy, whoever starts on the wing, the forward-thinking midfielder, all has got to get into their back four and midfield from the start. Pardon me, close them down and really have a go at them tomorrow. Because if you don't, and like I say, if Arsenal start playing their own game, we could struggle against them. And look, I know it's not the Arsenal old, but they've still got some quality players on that park, in a Banyan and all that. We know they're deadly.
I think I'm right in saying they've just won 3 on the trot, Tom. Arsenal have, so they're in good form, and they'll still be having an eye on at least getting into Europa. I think they can't be looking at Champions League where they are, but they certainly. Well, I suppose if they were to go and win 4 or 5 more on the trot, they could suddenly get up there. But we don't notoriously do well at the Emirates, but with no fans there's got to be an open door for us, isn't it, Tom, to get 3 points?
I think the stats don't lie. There's been more away wins in the league or something since the lockdown, since playing behind closed doors than home wins. So, look, it's a blame playing field for me tomorrow. You're going to an empty stadium. There's no 12 man there. There's no feeling pressure that if you make a mistake, you're going to have the Arsenal fans jeering you. And Vardy's going to be thinking, he's got a great record at the Emirates, if I'm honest with you. It's another team he's got a great record against. He's going to get another goal against Arsenal. So we go there with confidence, I think, from the weekend. I really do. I don't think Rodgers has been far away from getting the performance right. We've just not done it consistent enough, and that's been the biggest frustration. It's been 20 minutes here, 40 minutes there, conceding sloppy goals, where, for me, Palace, although they were really poor, we actually looked a lot more sharper with our passing was crisper. And that's something you've got to do against the bigger clubs. Hopefully going to Arsenal, they're not going to come and park the bus. If they try and park the bus, then what's that say about Arsenal, a team who wants to get in Europe?
They're not going to park the bus tomorrow, but that will suit us, Tom, won't it? Them coming, I always think a team coming at Leicester is going to suit us better. I think Brighton and Watford, and this has been the criticism of Leicester, not just this season but last season, is having that extra bit of guile and skill to break down a team who's, we keep saying, have teams sussed us out. I think some of the teams know if they come and defend against us, have two lines of 4, 8, 9 players behind the ball, give Vardy no room to run into. We're a bit lacking then in that breaking them down. Arsenal, Tom, they're the team who'll come and have a go.
Well, yeah, different class of players, aren't they, really? I mean, if you look at the 3 games before that, Watford fighting for the lives, obviously you're going to park the bus and try and counter attackers. Brighton at home fighting for the lives, every point mattered for them. Again, park the bus, really. And then you look at Palace, not really got much to play for. We said that before the intro, Phil, that their season's about done. They're not going to go down. They're not really going to be pushing for a European spot. They're about 9 points off getting the greatest total they had in the Premier League. So they're really on the hollybobs for me. But again, they came and parked the bus until they went 1-0 down when Hodgson had to open them up a bit more. And as soon as he did, we looked a completely different team against them because the space was there. Teams who open up and leave space, we do look better against. We've said that all along. The bigger clubs, we give games to. I know this season we haven't really given a game to, Liverpool this year. We got hammered at home, and Man City away. We let ourselves down big time with the performances. But against those kind of two, we always look better for the spacing behind, and that's massive tomorrow. Looking for that space. There will be space there. And if we can find that space early enough, Vardy will get the chance. And at the moment, his confidence will be sky high.
Yeah, I want to get, if people can get their score predictions in, I'm going to come across and ask Tom what he thinks the score prediction will be. And as ever, we do first goal scorer and correct final score. Before we get onto that, I want to remind people that there is a competition out there and you can enter it now as well. We've got a box full of these pies. I don't know if you've seen these from Piglet's Pantries. It's got 6 pies in one of these. Just have a look at how nice these look. Yeah, that's right. I've ate them all. I ate all the pies. But we'll get a fresh box off to whoever wants to win those. So enter on one of those. They do taste delicious. They're the same ones. You get down the King Power. Tom, score predictions. And then after you've done yours, I'll read out as many score predictions from the fans as I can.
I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I think Arsenal pro score first, but I think Vardy will nick his crucial goal at the Emirates. So, yeah, 1-1 smile. I'll take a point, and when we move forward again.
Do you know what, Tom? I would take a point. I've put that earlier. I had a chat with my lad before we came on. I would take a point. I'm going to go for a Leicester win. I just think it's got to happen one day, and there's no Arsenal fans in there. It is a different atmosphere in these games. I think Arsenal will probably score. I'm not saying we'll score first, but I'm going to go for 2-1 Leicester. I just think maybe it's our time to get a win at the Emirates. I don't know, Tom. You're more statty than me. Have we ever won at the Emirates?
Not at the Emirates, mate. No.
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 And it's how long have they had the Emirates? About 10 years.
So not yeah. It's been a long time since we won against the Arsenal at their ground, I think.
And to be fair, we never used to win much at Highbury, which I've got better memories of Highbury days, but we never used to win there.
I thought we did win. We nearly won when I went the year they won the title in the Invincible years when Dickoff scored after 10 minutes. And I was thinking, we might actually do this. And then, like, second half, they just destroyed us and won 2-1. But look, things have to change. We've done that before with the records, and that's what we're good at, breaking records. So tomorrow, let's go out there and, hopefully we can get the win, keeps this run going. Now.
Hopefully, Tom, it's the Leicester, the great Leicester we know can turn up this season. Hopefully that win on Saturday is just like, I think, and for Vardy genuinely looked like he'd got a jinx on him. And I know from speaking with Youngie quite a lot of times, Youngie told me once that I think he went 12 games without a goal, Youngie, and he said Jot Wallace kept saying to him, just keep doing what you're doing, it'll come. And in the end, Jot Wallace gave him some videos of him scoring goals and said, you need to sit down and watch these. He said it was like a jinx was over me. And as soon as I got one, I was off again.
Yeah, I mean, he's had this. Look, he was unlucky because against Villa, he got to 99. He probably had a couple of chances in that game. He could have done the 100 before the break. But he was unlucky, really. And we went into this lockdown. He hasn't played. So we've seen at the beginning of the season, if I'm honest, we look rusty. As a team, we look rusty. We seem to have a couple of games to get going. And then we start this flame football. And hopefully now we've had the few games and been hit and miss. And now Vardy will start showing, that form again, because 21 goals for the season, a bad achievement again. And he's in line for a golden boot. Why would you, why would you not put your chances away now? He wants that golden boot. Just take your hat off, Pat. What's hiding under there? No.
Not taking that hat off. Tom, listen, Wednesday night, it's your new regular show, Wednesday night, The Fox's Tale. Tell us who's on.
A legend of the game for me. Very good manager back in the day. Brian Little, he was with us for a few years. And it should be very exciting because we've had a few of the ex-players on who managed, so we can ask them interesting questions about their time at the football club.
Brian Little is one of my favourite managers at Leicester City. He obviously didn't quite live up to the Martin O'Neill days, but he was sort of starting it all off back in the early 90s with Leicester playoff finals, Wembley trips. A great manager, and it'll be great fun to have on as well, Tom. So I'm looking forward to watching you do that one.
Oh, mate, me too. Like I said before the international break, it's another big name from the football club that we're getting on, and we're going to hopefully find out some interesting facts about his time at the football club.
Brilliant, Tom. I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to read out all the fans' predictions. Cheers for that. We'll let Tom go, and now it is my time to get on as many as I can before we go of your score predictions. Where do we start? Ross says 3-0 tomorrow to us, Vardy hat-trick. Ross, I'm watching that game. That's what I'd like. Joanna wants to remind you that if you've got a flag and want to take it to the King Power, you can do. They'll put it out there. Obviously, not. Who's got 2 away games now? Somebody Facebook group saying 2-2. Gray, that might be you being Gray, coming 2-2 with Vardy as the first scorer. He's gone in there. James is saying Leicester to win 3-1 with Perez and Vardy with the goals this time. That would be good. Who wouldn't want the pie, says Reese. Well, enter the competition, Reese, and you could be the winner. Locks is saying Ryan Bennett to score first, Leicester to win 2-1. I'm not seeing that one, to be fair. Joanna's going 2-1. Come on, Joanna, you should know by now who's the first goal scorer. I'm going 2-1 as well. And to be fair, I didn't say who's the first goal scorer. I'm just going to go Vardy. That's nice and easy. Martin, thanks for watching, says 3-1 to Leicester with Vards, Barnes and Evans. Matty can't predict scores right normally, so he's going 2-0 with Vardy. Yeah, you are the wooden spoon winner of the fans' ones. Matt saying 2-2. Matt, who do you think is going to score the first goal? Somebody on the Facebook group, 3-2 with Diddy scoring the first goal. Andrew says 3-2 with a Leicester win. Zab, thanks for watching, says 3-2 to us. Should be a cracker. I actually think you're right, Zab. I think it's going to be a really, really interesting game tomorrow. I think it's going to be Locks has just come in with the stat of the day. No win at Arsenal since 1972. Is that right, Locks? Or are you having... We've not won at Arsenal since 1972. I'm going to have to do the maths now. 82, 92, 2002, 2012. That's like 48 years. Am I right there? We haven't won away at Arsenal in 48 years. And that's as long as I've been alive. We've never won. Good grief. Rob's saying, need a win, too many teams breathing down our back. I think you're right. 2-2 draw, says Joe. Thanks for that. Thanks for watching. California, I believe, Joe, if I remember rightly. Reese is saying 4-1 Vardy hat-trick, Iheanacho and Aubameyang. I got there in the end. Listen, I don't have to learn Arsenal players' names. Nacho, thank you, Joanna. She's come back and told us who she wants to go for on it. Don't forget, you can win those box of pies from Piglets. We've got other competitions ongoing as well. Tomorrow night, we have got a pre-match show, halftime show. The halftime shows, we've been enjoying those halftime shows, and the full-time show, where full-time, we want as many of you to come on via the video link as possible. Lots more fans starting to do it, getting brave, coming on the camera, which is great, because you want to hear less of me, less of Tom, less of Jamie, less of Chappers, less of Locks and Josh and all those. Been great having more faces come on. So what we want is more and more of you to click on that link. Come and tell us what you think about the game. Hopefully, we'll all be talking about an amazing Leicester win. Chappers is on 9 p.m. tonight. He's on Arsenal Fan TV for us as Leicester Fan TV. He's over there on Arsenal Fan TV doing some chat. So go over there and see what he says with them. I'm going to cut back to Tom just in a second, just so you can see him. He's having a disco in his shed, the Fox's Tail shed. Go and follow us at Leicester Fan TV. Come on, let's add Tom back in. You're having a disco for tomorrow night already, Tom?
Having a party. Jamie Vardy's having a party at the Arsenal.
Up the Arsenal. Right, thanks, Tom, for that. We'll let Tom go. I've lost my stream there now, Tom. You've absolutely blown me having your party in the background. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thanks for all the sponsors, ADT, Eat Me, Everard's Tiger Beer, Peter's Pizzas, Leicester Garage Conversions, Piglet's Pantry, the Fox's Arms out there in Alcudia, which will be open soon, Jamie's hopefully, fingers crossed, saying when he's allowed to. Pink Vehicle Leasing, Hologram, and of course the charity we support, Memphis UK, which is based in Leicester. So thanks to all those guys, but mostly as ever, thanks to everybody who's watched, because without you, we don't have a show. So see you tomorrow night, pre-match. Well, before kickoff, I'll have to work it out. It's 8:15 kickoff, so we'll be live at probably 7. See you then.